All right, everybody, we've got a fun one here for you today. We are taking a look at the latest information that's been leaked to us through a source. And we will have to say ahead of time that this is officially speculation. So we're not going to go any farther than that than to say that we cannot verify this independently. This is speculation. This does come from a source that I would consider rock solid. But we're going to put the statement ahead of it. Joining us today is Valliant Renegade. It's great to have VR with me today to sort of preview where this is going to be going, because come Sunday when we do the evening show there, this is going to weigh heavily on what we discuss. And not only that, but this is just the beginning. We've got more information from the source, and we're waiting for clearance to get more out. I also want to say that the information being provided has been put through a bit of paraphrasing, and that is in order to protect the source, to make sure that the language does not match the writing style or the communication style of the source who provided this information. Let's get straight into it. With all of that said, here's the story we've got for you today. Disney is quickly approaching the $1 to $1 marketing and promo spend in relation to per $1 production cost. Wakanda is therefore closing in on $250 million in promo expenditures. What that's saying is that the overall budget for production was about $250 million. And according to this source, now the marketing spend is a 1-to-1 ratio with that production budget, bringing it to 1-to-1. Disney licensing execs really want the $950 million milestone out of Black Panther Wakanda Forever worldwide box office. At worst, they want to break into the $900 million mark range, so that in the future they can say it's in the billion range with 2 straight films in the Wakanda franchise. Remember, box office is not an automatic indicator of brand engagement, the way partners look at it, but narrative matters. In regards to Strange World and Lightyear, nobody in my circle, speaking about the source of contacts, knows of anyone spending major budget allotments on those 2 animated projects out of Pixar and Disney, referring to Disney Animation Studios. This extra money coming into Black Panther Wakanda Forever promo spend is actually nothing extra at all. It's that basically, folks, what that means is that the intended market spend was not that high. Merely, it is an internal allocation of unused Lightyear dollars and the Strange World investment pullback specifically for calendar Q4. That should be differentiated from the fiscal Q4 that Disney has. This is referring to the last 3 months, I assume, of 2022.
Yes.
By the way, while not unprecedented, going back, say, 10 years or more when investment transfers would happen, usually marketing dollars were being shifted from live action towards Pixar and other animation in order to chase potential on the strong animated output of the day. Disney using plussed marketing to save a poor movie, only slight impact on merchandising, is a very different approach than using extra investment to maximize a strong project to extend its role, which has strong impact on merchandising. Third parties know the difference. And here's the important part to know. Disney Animation, including Pixar, is now a wow fail. It's a new phrase for me, but a wow fail. Moving dollars from animation promotion to live format promotion is a huge fail. Yes, fail because of the money, but also because of the animation crowd that is now legit up for. All right, Valliant, you know what where the break-even point is for Black Panther Wakanda Forever. You know where the movie is currently. So what does Disney need in order, now that we know this much higher marketing spend they have, now where do we know they have to get for the break-even point?
Well, this is a real problem for them for sure. I just was on Mr. H's show yesterday on YouTube, and this question came across, and I said I had run the numbers earlier yesterday afternoon to see how much of the box office haul the global grosses for Black Panther Wakanda Forever have actually made back to the Walt Disney Company. And using the information that we have available from financial sources like AMC Theaters, it's about $350 million. So of the 730 or so right now that has been grossed, 350 has made it back to Disney. Now, if you assumed that Walt Disney's production budget stated at 250 is accurate, And if they had only spent a paltry $100 million, and I know saying paltry there seems crazy, but that is a paltry spend for a movie of that size on marketing, then it just made that 350 back. It's at break even. But it's funny because the last couple of weeks, you and I talked about this. We brought this up. We speculated a number of times that based on what we saw, especially with Strange World, which received seemingly almost no marketing from the Walt Disney Company,
Right. Nobody
that
knows what it is.
something happened to those dollars, and we speculated that did Disney hold those dollars back? Y'all can go back and watch the live shows and the videos. We've said this the last several weeks. Did they hold those dollars back and reallocate into Wakanda Forever? Well, if that's true, then they're moving those dollars there. That means that the $250 million marketing spend on Wakanda Forever added to the 250 production budget, that's $500 million. That means the Walt Disney Company still right now, today, on Friday, December 9th, is still $150 million in the hole on Wakanda Forever. And this movie needs to get pretty much $1 billion at the box office, which at this point, there is exactly a 0.0% chance of that happening. I have been concerned the last few days that this movie may not even make it to 800 at this point.
So let me throw this at you, Valiant. And just for full disclosure, everybody out there, I haven't brought this up at all prior to the show, but let me just theorize and see what you think. What do you say if maybe Disney was moving this market spend, this promotional spend off of Lightyear and Strange World in order to mitigate the loss totals for those movies? What do you think about that? Is that possible that they said we'll take the loss on Black Panther versus the massive ratio that'll come on these two movies?
I think they decided to do some frankly wise cost shifting in that regard, because they don't want to have one thing that's maybe a giant disaster for them. Or, as I mentioned in previous videos, I think just like they did with Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings and Thor: Love and Thunder, those movies were shot back to back in Australia to get the maximum film tax credit they could and the lowest costs. And I said just recently, the last couple of months, I said from what it seems like, from what we know now, they shifted some of those production costs off of Shang-Chi and to Thor: Love and Thunder. Like, because they only said they had a $150 million budget on Shang-Chi, which is the cheapest thing they've made for Marvel in forever, and then $250 all of a sudden for Thor: Love and Thunder. I think they shifted those costs because they thought Thor: Love and Thunder was going to be a bigger movie, and they would be better off taking the higher expenses over there. I think they thought they could do the same thing here from the marketing side between Lightyear and especially with Strange World. I think they still spent a decent bit on Lightyear, and they pulled back after they saw that opening weekend, and I think that's what got them to do a little bit of a gut check when it came to spending anything of significant value on Strange World. And they figured, we can make it up in Black Panther, let's put it there. It didn't look like it worked.
Well, here's one thing while you were talking that just came to my mind, and that is that, and this lends credibility to the leak that we have here, but there are no new toys for Lightyear this holiday season that I'm aware of. So you have to think that those were planned at some point. You would think that any animated film that came out in the spring would then have a follow-up holiday push in merchandise. There is nothing Lightyear unless you want to go into the clearance aisle to find the old stuff.
So I think you're going to find the same stuff that was produced in May and June of this year.
So it makes sense that they would pull it and set it into the Black Panther, where they've got the end caps with two rows on the shelf and everything else cardboard cutouts.
Yeah.
So this is just a beginning point. We'll be discussing this at much greater length Sunday night. But Valiant, once again, what is the number that Black Panther: Wakanda Forever needs to hit?
Well, when I said 800 million, I was wrong. Apparently, it's $1 billion now with this new information.
And just for the record, can you tell me one other movie out there that had this kind of marketing spend behind it?
The closest one was Spider-Man: No Way Home in recent years, $240 million from Sony.
I'm thinking that pulled in just a little bit more in terms of toy sales, shirt sales, et cetera.
Slightly.
Slightly. All right, folks, that's going to do it for today. You heard it, though, the big number. And it turns out that budget is a little bit bloated. We'll see you Sunday on the Valliant Renegade show. Make sure you tune in on YouTube for the live show. It'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central Time. Also, make sure you're following Valliant Renegade on Twitter and WW Pro 1 on Twitter as well. Everybody take care. Valliant, thanks for being on, man.
Take care.
Bye-bye.